Hey folks, welcome back to the channel. I'm David Bird with Reality Reimagined. I'm an award-winning photographer and Photoshop artist that specializes in fantasy composite art. And first I must apologize again, there's a little bit of a delay for the content to the channel. I'm in the process of making significant changes at the studio that I'm a co-op member of. We've been taking down some walls, building new sets and so forth, getting ready for a whole new set of photography and genres to explore, and of course education to give to all of you. And this is something that I'm trying to desperately work on at the same time finishing up all of my client accounts for December before we get to the holiday season and take some much needed time off. So new content will be coming soon, but I wanted to drop in with a quick video today to share with you something that is relatively new and quite exciting, which is free stock images, stock vectors, stock videos from Adobe Stock. Now, I have a year subscription to Adobe Stock and I've had it for a little while. I have some varying opinions on Adobe's business models and so forth, but this video is not for that right now. However, Adobe Stock does have a regular subscription that you can take every year, and you get a certain amount of available stock downloads per month for a fee. This is new, where you can go in and get license-free images, videos, and vectors and so forth. So I wanted to bring it to you because in my work as a fantasy composite artist, and just in general, like I just got done designing a holiday card for a client and I needed to utilize some different stock elements to put the whole thing together, and I licensed those from Adobe Stock. And I did not know that there was a free section of this until just now. So let's take a quick look at Adobe Stock and explain all of this to you, and you can see what they have to offer that is free. So this is the main page for the Adobe Stock free section, and there will be a link to this URL in the description below on this video. However, the URL is pretty easy. So if you go to any browser and type in stock.adobe.com/free. So again, stock.adobe.com/free. That should take you to this page. And Adobe Stock's just main landing site is that without the /free, but it should take you to this section here. If it doesn't, then just look at the description below on the video. So this is my first time stopping by with this, and I just heard about it and I went, oh my gosh, I have to tell everybody on the channel. So let's go through it and look at it. First, obviously you have a search bar here. This is standard for the Adobe Stock main site. And then here you can select, so you can go to the different genres, like do you want images, videos, and so forth. So I'm assuming on the main stock site, Adobe stock.adobe.com, there will be a free option now there so that you can start filtering the images from there. But then you have the free stock assets, free photos, vectors, and videos. This looks like a section that is probably curated by the community or by Adobe, depending upon the algorithm and what it's looking for. But I like that it's broken up into things like backgrounds, business, food, and I'm sure those will probably rotate of categories, over time. The free vectors, the popular stock footage. This is really cool. I think that, okay, so how free asset licensing works. Use Adobe Stock free assets with confidence in your next commercial project. Our free assets meet the same licensing standard as our paid assets. So let's talk about that. With the subscription, the annual subscription to Adobe Stock, you have two options for a license with an image that isn't a premium image. So just most of the assets there, which are, millions upon billions of images, the licensing option is either a standard license or an extended license. The standard license is $3 per file. The extended is $75. The premium ones are much more expensive than that, and I to date have not purchased a premium image, so I can't speak too knowledgeably about that right now, but I'm sure that there is information on that on the main site, and through this site too, the /free site, there's got to be further information that will explain all of this to you and the limitations. But a kind of convenient way of explaining it is that the standard license typically will have limitations on things, on how much it can be viewed online or how many copies of whatever product you're using their image on, how many of those copies can be sold. So for instance, if you're making a book cover and you purchase an image from Adobe Stock and you put it on the cover, the extended license would probably come into play because there's a limitation, and it's been a while since I've checked this, but the limitation was if you're using an image from them on a product that sells like a book, it can only sell 250,000 copies. Once you get to 250,001 copies, then you would need the extended license. And there's some other restrictions like that, especially restrictions on how the image can be seen online, how many views per day, things to that nature. So if you are doing a commercial project of any kind, I strongly recommend the extended license. For my personal work, anything that just goes to social media, or I sell the artwork to a client as a print or something along those lines, the standard license for $3 is just fine. For my commercial work that I have done, I always buy the extended license, because you never know at any point when that entity is going to take what you have produced for them and then run with it. And you don't ever want to be stuck in that ugly email of, hey, we just got, a cease and desist from Adobe or the original image maker, because, you don't have the proof of the extended license. So those are the explanations for that. So I'm assuming that these free assets are going to fall under the category of the standard license and not the extended one. So just keep that in mind as you use these vectors or footage or anything to that nature. Make sure that you're getting the right license for what you're expecting this to become when it's out there in the world. And just one final note, I know that, let's just be honest, the chances of Adobe finding out that you did this, or the original image maker, and suing you is very small. But we live in a day and age where you have to protect your content. You have to protect your information. Just follow the rules. I know we all have a really good friend called Google, where we can go and search images and borrow them to use them in our stuff. Don't do that. It's just going to, at some point, somewhere down the road, it's going to get you into trouble. And ultimately, is it worth it? You have to make that decision for yourself. My recommendation is just follow the rules. It'll just make everything easier for everybody. But continuing to go through curated collections of mixed assets. So obviously dealing with seasonal themes and Zoom backgrounds. That's funny. So this is really great. And this is definitely something that is worth taking a look through. Again, I use a lot of stock assets all the time in my work, whether it be textures or something like, oh, it looks like a piece that I already have purchased in the past. It's now in the free category. Adobe owes me $3. Anyway, so scrolling through that's really cool too. I like that. So just taking a brief look at these. I mean, these are assets that I recommend that you take the time to go through and download, because you'll never know when these will come into play. I have a stock folder of assets that I have purchased that is probably 500 or 600 stock images in there, and it's growing every day because I utilize textures and pictures and backgrounds all the time. And like a texture like this can be definitely utilized not just as a background as it is right now, but it can be utilized on a blending mode of soft light or overlay and create a really interesting element to a composite or just a standard portrait. But you can even go through the process like this one. I think this one's really cool. And if you were to download this and just put a subject in front of this as it is, that's a really neat element to use, and it's free, and it's from a company like Adobe, so you can trust what you're seeing here and know that you're not potentially downloading something that is not meant to be accessible to the general public. So I think this is a wonderful new addition to Adobe Stock. I strongly recommend that you go there and check it out and take advantage of this and start building your own stock library of free assets that you can use into your work. So let's recap and have final thoughts. Look at the description below for the direct link to the stock site that's free. Go through there, start pulling these down. Make sure you follow the rules about the licensing and so forth. If you're interested in getting that account from Adobe, where you will be given 10 downloads per month, then there is information on their site to do all of that. If you have questions about that or like my opinions on that, then hit me up in the comments below, and I'm happy to share that with you in those comments. So thanks so much for your patience with me as I'm waiting to get that new content created for all of you. The holidays are always such a busy time, and with recent events that we had in our family, it's been a difficult time, but I'm very excited for the content I'm going to be bringing to you. If you have have questions, if you have suggestions for content that you would really like to see, you know what, let's go back so you can see my full face. So if you have suggestions for content that you would like to see, please let me know in the comments, send me a private message or an email, and I will definitely take that into consideration and see what I can produce for you. So thanks for watching today. If you like the content, make sure to give the video a like and consider subscribing to the channel, because new content debuts each week in photography and Photoshop education. And when you subscribe, make sure to hit the bell icon to be notified of that new content when you return to the YouTubes. Thanks again, stay safe, and until next time, I'll see you out there in the world of Photoshop.